9th of September, just gone 25 past 1. Today's harvest, Maria de Chogia squash, a couple of nice maize lettuce, some radish underneath and sweet corn, runner beans, tomatoes, tropical, tomatoes at the bottom there, indigo rose, tomatoes, yellow pear, courgettes, cucumbers, sweet corn, and this sweet corn I'm leaving the husks on. Some we're going to leave in the fridge and eat in the next couple of days. Other we take off the corn and freeze it, and it worked quite well last year, so we're doing that again. So all in all, not a bad day's harvest. So beautiful coming to the allotment in the morning. The light's different, it's peaceful, the birds seem to sing more. It's one of the best places to be. And as I say that, the geese are coming over. We've got a reservoir next to us, and they seem to go between there and other reservoirs that are close. These are two carnivorous plants that I've had in the greenhouse all summer. There's a Sarracena, and this one's a sundew, which is obviously very happy because it's flowered. Look at that, there's a flower on the top of it. What I'll do now is just show you a video of me doing this bit. I don't tend to show any videos of me doing anything really, but maybe I should. So let's have a look how we've done that. I've taken out all the old sweet corn, dug it over, levelled it. Now I'm putting a layer of the allotment compost on top. I think I'm going to grow potatoes next year, and they're a greedy feeder, so I need to put as much compost and manure in the soil as I can. I've still got a courgette left in there. It's still got a couple of small courgettes on at the moment, so I'll leave that in there until I've harvested them. Oh, it's a nice piece of pottery. Oh, in fact, it's a tile. It's amazing what you find in a compost bin. You probably never saw that, but look, there was a mouse nest in there. I just dug it up and a little mouse has just run off. Okay, that's done that. Have a look what I found in there. No wonder I keep buying labels. I found loads of labels in there, they end up in the compost bin. So I need to be more careful in future. Big pieces of wood. These are obviously bits from the shed that I was building on the fruit plot. Stuff that hasn't rotted down properly. 6-inch nails. Hooks and a piece of pottery. And a tile as well. And it's amazing what ends up in the compost bin. Last year I found my knife in there, and this had been in there for a couple of years. Now on that side it looks perfect, but if you turn it over, it looks like something's eaten the metal there. But I've probably got a bit of a bad habit of just throwing everything in the compost bin. But looks alright now. Most people would tell you to leave the lumps in the frost to break it down, adding nitrogen to the soil. Now, that's true, and it's a good point, and it does work. But the problem is when you've got an allotment, you really need to feed the soil. I mean, look how dry that soil is. Look, it's like dust. So there's no way that I'm just going to leave it and let the frost break it down. What I'm going to do is tread on it, break it all down, rake it. Then I'm going to put some good manure on and leave that through the winter so that it goes into the soil. And that'll add a lot of, not so much nutrients, but body to the soil, so that it holds onto the water longer instead of being dry like that. Welsh onions I planted a couple of months ago starting to look good now. I'm not going to pick them, I'm going to leave them this year. Hopefully they're spread and I'll be able to pick some next year. Parsnips are looking good, especially the ones in the tub. And if you remember, the ones in the front are the thinnings from the ones at the back. So it'll be interesting to see if they have stayed straight or if they've forked. It's a maze. Pretty amazing. They seem to have all grown to the same height, the same width. For some reason, symmetrical. I haven't tasted one yet. I'm taking the first one home tonight to taste, so wait and see what it tastes like. Leeks. A lot of the collars are missing. For some reason, some bird, I think, keeps pulling them off. I think it might be a magpie. Keeps pulling them off, so I'm not bothering to put them back. I've earthed them up like potatoes, as you can see. So hopefully that'll blanch them a bit longer, and whether or not it stops the allium leaf miner is another thing, but let's wait and see. The late sowings of carrots, coriander, kale and French beans are doing well. Let's hope the carrots grow to a decent size and then hold over winter so we can pick them when we want. In my dad's shed, I've planted Tom Thumb lettuce. They're struggling a bit because the temperature at the moment, as I look now, is 38.6 in here. Pretty hot, but I think next week it's going to start cooling down. And the week after it's October, so it shouldn't be that warm for that long. Here I've got some carrots coming up, Eskimo. Hopefully they can bulk up enough so that they sort of store over winter. Beetroot, bolt hardy, I've literally just planted these in now. I've kept my eye on them with these see-through seed cells so you can see where the roots are, and it's easier to gauge if they're ready or not then. So they came out as good plugs. They should be alright and get away. And some all year round lettuce on the end as well. I've got plenty of chard, lettuce, spare cabbage, purple sprite and everything grown still. But this is just an experiment. I can't see why it won't work. If these have got enough time to grow before the real cold of the winter sort of hits us, then they should be alright, and they should, on mild days they start growing again, and then they stop when it gets a lot colder. So we'll give it a go. That flag is, we've had a heritage weekend this weekend, and we've got another one next weekend. So it's the trail they walk past here. Now next year I need to put some more flowers or something in the front, but it's very difficult because the soil is probably that deep, and underneath it is just full of stones. I think now they put the stones there to shore up the shed as a foundation, or they've just sieved the soil out, taken the stones out and used that for a dumping ground for stones, but there's no soil on there, so it's not very good at the moment. And also that shed needs doing, look at that. So next year I'm going to dig it all out except for the rosemary, and maybe that thyme at the end I'll leave. Dig it all out, put some more soil in, maybe try and take some of them stones out and put some decent plants in. But that's a project for next year. I've got some old photos of my dad when he had this shed, and he had a lot of stuff in pots at the front, and that's probably why, because you couldn't plant a lot into the soil. Just done the front of the shed. I've dug all the weeds out, 2 big trugs full. Took some bricks out and stones from the soil, put some extra soil in there and some allotment compost. Then I've put some plants in there as well. I'm going to put some herbs in there next year as well, but I'll put some flowers in for now. Can't beat a bit of flowers in front of the shed. So, and I'm hoping that this fuchsia I've put in here is a snowcap. If it is a snowcap, then that's hardy, and hopefully it should fill that space and it'll look really nice. I've got one at home and comes up every year. It's really nice. So it looks better than it did. Just have to remember to water it, and I've got no excuse really, because look, the bath is just there. Looks like steam coming out of the water bucks. Must have been cold last night. We'll have a look at the thermometer in a bit. Tomatoes are looking great still. Still fantastic, look at them. I need to take the carnivorous plants I've got in here. Sundew and a Sarracena. Need to take them out. Put them in a conservatory. Look how beautiful that looks in the sunlight. emptied that compost bin. I've put some in there. That one's completely full up now. And some in the Dalek ones I got. So they're all full up. So I've got 3 Dalek ones full up. And that big one full up. That one's full of manure. And there's a wormery there. And some leaf mould as well. Thermometer says about 8 degrees. So it must have been pretty cold. And that's with the sun out this morning. So it must have been pretty cold last night. One thing I forgot to do was pick the flowers last night. Maybe I can do it after work today. So one of the reasons I'm on YouTube, the main reason is to keep a diary of what I do. But I like going on and watching other people because I always learn something. And I thought, well, maybe instead of just showing you my plot, I need to be a bit more instructive in the future. So next year, after I've done a few planning videos of what I want to do for next year, and I start sowing next year, I'm going to probably video it as well. It's probably nothing new that you don't already know. But as I said, there's always 1 or 2 things you can learn. So if I can pass some of my ideas that I've learnt in the last, well, all of my life that I've been gardening, and some of the old gardeners' ideas, if I can pass them on to people and help them improve their gardening, that'd be a bonus. So anyway, off to work. See you next time.